I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to another episode of Refuse to Lose. And you may be looking at the panel today saying, what we got going on here? We got R2L MVPs up here. I'm going to say MVPs, but I'm going to say a special shout out to my MVP on my far, I would say my far left, but your far right. I really don't know my left from my right when I'm looking at YouTube, but I know we live right now. I got two brothers with me. You see Joe's not here right now because, you know, he's traveling. He may be still trying to find out if they're going to get that number one pick or not, but hey, you can't come to DC and then leave and think you're going to get the number one pick, Joe. That's all I'm saying. But outside of that, we got a bevy of topics for y'all, but it is March Madness and it's almost coming to a close. So we got to touch on a little bit of some March Madness topics. We got a UNC fan with us, so we definitely got to touch on something special today. And then we also got one NBA topic for you all. But I really think this one started in the NBA chat. But before we get to the topics, we want to let you know we're streaming this on 4 platforms right now: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and X. So whichever platform you on, if it's not YouTube, make sure you migrate your way back over to YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And when you hitting that like and subscribe button, you could be a part of the comments, but also hit that description button and see the other shows that we have on the network. I'm telling you, we like the Whole Foods and networks right here, baby. I'm telling you, everything organic, and we touch on every sport. Now that I got the business out the way, J-Mo, RBO Vaughn, what's up with y'all?
What's up, bro? Chilling. Yes, sir. Ready to talk some sports. Blessed to be here as always. Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, with that, man, I know Vaughn's sipping his water, but my other brother's not here, and he normally has some things to say to this guy, but right now I know he probably somewhere saying, Vaughn, I can't wait.
Turn me up, 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 up.
And just like that, okay, I see you in the comments. We're going to say what's up, but we're going to get straight to the business. The first topic on the docket, fellas. This team here, man, so much promise. I mean, well, technically, once KD went there, so many questions of some people saying that they could win the West or they could be the best in the West. Some people are still trying to figure out what's the problem. So are the Rockets contenders or pretenders? And I'm going to start with you, J-Mo. Oh, he just like what's now? He just like KD right now. He sat over in the corner, wait for them to pass him the ball. So while we wait for J-Mo to get back, Vaughn, you can start this one off.
Okay, the Rockets. Are they contenders or are they pretenders? This is one of the trickiest teams in the league to me right now. You know, if you look at their metrics, they're top 4 in points allowed per game. So they're pretty good defensively. Offensively, they score about 114. It's right around where the Boston Celtics are. So it's good enough to be considered a top team. And then got a guy named KD that, you know, some nights he just looks unstoppable, you know, even at this age. But to me, you know, I think they have a good team. Like they can play with anybody, in my opinion. But I'm gonna say they're pretenders. and this is the reason why. I'm not sure if Udoka's coaching is going to work for this team, and just how the way he does things. You know, earlier on in the press conference, he was talking about Sengun. One of the reporters asked him about how teams hunt him out. He was like, I mean, they've been doing that all year, like pretty much saying, like, I mean, we've been dealing with that. And then, you know, you got the whole thing with KD with the burner accounts. I'm not saying that's true, but if it's just a lot of turmoil with that. And then, you know, KD even in a press conference one time, he came out saying stuff like, you know, I feel like it's 1-on-5. You know, the offense is me. I am the offense. And it's just like, you know, I'm not seeing them trend in the right direction leading to the playoffs, you know. At this time, you want to see a team coming together. You want to see a team getting some gritty wins. You know, they lose some close games. They just lost to the Lakers back-to-back. I mean, they lost to the Warriors. So this team, you know, right now, they aren't showing that they are, for one, together. And two, it doesn't seem like they have a really good system in place to really propel themselves for success in the playoffs. So I'm going to say that they're pretenders right now, because one thing that they didn't do, because everybody was saying this once Fred went out, get a point guard. And they did not do that at the trade deadline. And maybe that has a lot to do with it, because what is a point guard? A point guard is an extension of the coach on the court. And without that, you got a lot of talent out there. Something has to be out there to put it together. So I'm going to say the pretenders, man.
All right, and before you go, J-Mo, I just want to say I forgot to put this out there in my intro. After KD dropped that 27 in that game, he passed Jordan as fifth, Michael Jordan for fifth place on the NBA all-scoring list. So now he's at 32,292 career points. So we got to give him a little bit of props before we – my bad. I know we killed him, but I just had to give him his props.
A lot of buckets.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, look, man, KD is their offense. Like, KD is their offense. I mean, you look at the personnel and the way their offense runs. Like, if KD don't score 25 on great efficiency on a consistent basis, I don't know where else they can get it from. You know what I'm saying? And I was one of the people that said that the way the team was last year, because I think we were discussing like scenarios of KD being like showing up to the Rockets or signing there and not getting traded there. Because if they trade, they would have to trade some pieces away to get KD, obviously. But I think that they could. And also, last year when we were having this conversation about the Rockets being contenders or not with KD joining them, last year, the way the playoffs went, it was like OKC, arguably Denver, because they took them to 7 and got hurt and they could have beat them. But other than those two, it was like everybody else. So I'm like, yeah, the way the Rockets are, they add KD, they right there with everybody else. But the Fred VanVleet injury going down off the break, they've been downhill since then. No problems defensively, but Steven Adams got hurt. That's another major thing, because Sengun, he probably wouldn't be getting his 100 on defense as much or as obviously if Steven Adams were there. Sengun and Amin Thompson haven't gotten better. They're the same players as they were last year. I'm not going to say they regressed, but, you know, if you don't get better, you regressed, right? I don't know if anybody else did, but I tremendously underestimated the impact of Dillon Brooks. If they still had Dillon Brooks on that team and a healthy VanVleet, they'd be right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way Dillon Brooks impacts his teams, I mean, look at what Phoenix is doing. And this is before Jalen Green came back from injury. They was looking good with Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks, you know what I'm saying, leading the charge. So I think all those things considered, Houston is not a contender. They are pretenders. I see no scenario where they can come out of the West. None. And I see no scenario.
Man.
I don't think they can beat OKC, the Spurs, Denver if they healthy, and probably the Lakers. I don't think they can beat them in a series. I don't think they can beat them 4 times without losing 4 times. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they can beat them in a series. So I don't see a scenario where they can come out of the West. So I think they're pretenders.
All right, so there's two things before I agree with you all, right? Because again, coming out of the West is going to be tough. The one thing that you said, Vaughn, is spot on about KD, right? And nobody probably is paying attention to it, is point guard play. Like, I know what they said about him and Russ, but he had point guard play. Even when he went over to Golden State, point guard play. When he was with the Nets, he had a point guard there. So he always had somebody to help him with the actual scoring. So going back to what Udoka wants to do, maybe he thought, or well, you can't think that about Kevin Durant and thinking of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but maybe he's like, if you put them two together, then maybe that's what I got here, and then everybody else around will fall into place. Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes Udoka can make some bad decisions, no pun intended. But my question for you though, Javon, is when we were asking a while ago about the Spurs being one of the scariest teams in the West, you had brought up the Rockets at one point. I just want you to go back on that point right quick because you did bring them up. So now seeing the way they've been playing, go ahead.
So what stirs me off is more of the off the court things that I hear and see. Okay. You know, the way KD was saying, I am the offense. I mean, even if you are the offense, that's not what you say, bro. Like, if I'm your teammate, I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because are you the defense too? Are you the rebounder too? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about scoring. And, you know, but I think that type of turmoil, like I said, the key is like you want to see a team coming together, and this team doesn't seem like they're doing that, you know, at this time of the year. Despite all the stuff that's going on, they're still number 4 in the West. So it's not like they in the play-in or nothing like that. They still a top 4 team in the West, and believe it or not, they got some good wins under their belt against good teams. They beat the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? The Spurs did come back and beat them. You know, they beat some good teams. So that's why I said they're a real tricky team. But just from what I'm seeing, like, they're a team, because I read the metrics. They're top 4 in defense. They say defense win championships, and they're right in the middle of the pack as far as offensively. That's good enough to beat anybody, really. So to me, they still have that ability to hit that switch, because I feel like they got players that can play. I've seen Sengun, KD, when it come down the stretch, run that 2-man game, and it be very effective. It's just all about what Rockets are we going to get. And for me, what I've been seeing lately from the off-court things, it just stares me away, to be quite honest.
Okay. And it thinks it leans back to what J-Mo was saying too, right? You said 4 out of the 4 times they play a team, they could probably win 4 of those games, or they could probably lose 4 of those games. Again, it goes back to coaching. Yeah. I never answered the question, but I agree with y'all. Right now, they're looking like some pretenders, because if KD is your offense and also your burner account, I know you said that might not be his account, but if you come out in the post-conference and say, I am the offense, I kind of started to think you believe them tweets that you was putting out there, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Man.
That's just what it's going to be, man.
They I can't believe they did not even attempt to address the point guard issue. I didn't hear one rumor about trading for DeJounte Murray, Drew Holiday, picking up Chris Paul in the buyout. I didn't hear nothing. They could at least got Alvarado. They could have tried something. They didn't even try to get a point guard. And they know that's like their glaring weakness. That's crazy.
I was looking at that. I was looking at that comment. I don't know if that's true or not, but we want to also let you all know that this segment here, Are the Rockets Contenders or Pretenders, was brought to you by RBO Vaughn. Make sure y'all check out RBO Real Ballers Only on the Refuse to Lose Network. Vaughn, just give the people a little bit about your show right quick before we move on to the next segment.
Yes, sir. RBO Real Ballers Only NBA show is heating up. The playoffs are here, so that's prime time for sure. We're talking about teams. Are they pretenders? Are they contenders? And you know, you get a little bit of everything. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we will be going live. Check out the link down low to subscribe so you can know what time.
All right. Shout out to you, Joe, for handling that comment because I was about to say, man, if he done, man, I know some Laker fans gonna go a little crazy right now. But before we roll over into, actually not even before, my man's backstage, and we really about to get y'all up out of here because, man, Carl, I guess it's because you here, man. This segment is brought to you by CTC Carl. Carl talking college. Carl, what's up, man?
Don't put that negative on me. I ain't the reason that.
My boy.
What it do?
Everything's everything, man. Just straight. Talk about this bracket.
All right, let's get to some before we get to the bracket though, Carl. You know why we really here. All right. And Vaughn, I know I had you start off on the what's going on here? People over here touching stuff. We got a ghost backstage.
I moved my mic. I don't know if I accidentally hit something.
I was gonna say
that might have been you.
The header is crazy. The brand is bigger than the record. That's crazy word. Go ahead, Tomo.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, look, that's what some people down there. Look, it's happening again. They doing it on purpose. That wasn't me. They doing it on purpose. I don't know who doing it, but look, I'm gonna just get right into it. Well, some people would say they would think he was Shaggy, man. If you go down to Chapel Hill, UNC. Davis, who took over for Roy Williams in 2021, has his job on the line after losing to VCU, after they erased that 19-point deficit, right? And when March Madness comes, a lot of upsets, a lot of confusion for fans. The memes is there. The gifts is going to be going crazy. But Carolina loses 82-78 in overtime. Davis, first year took the Tar Heels to the Natty as an AC, hasn't been back since. The college chats have been going crazy. Carl, we're gonna save your response for 1 second because we have a fan right here. Mm-hmm. So Vaughn, I'm gonna take a step back, and you tell me, should UNC move on from Hubert Davis?
Yes. Move on, man. It's time. Listen, he a good guy. Used to play for UNC. That's cool. We appreciate you, but when you look at his body of work, what has he truly done? His first year was his best year, and he didn't even develop that team. That was a team that was already there that Coach Roy had. The biggest thing that he did was beat Duke in Coach K's final game in basketball. That was the biggest thing he did. Now, you talk about the talent that he's had on his team. I don't think he's able to develop a good team. I don't think he has good offensive schemes. I don't think we had a guy last year, Ian Jackson, who plays on the team we're about to talk about next. I asked Carl last year. I said, I hope he come back, bro, because I don't think we used him right. Because he was on the bench at times, and then he didn't even play that much. Carl told me, man, I don't know, he might go to the draft. That's how good that guy is. And he could not get nothing out of him, really, to be quite honest. We probably seen one or two good games of Ian Jackson with UNC. Then you roll to last year. Last year was just complete, utter embarrassment from UNC. If you're a UNC fan, I was one to say we did not have the big man down low. They did not do a good job in recruiting big men, because it was a new way of doing things. How the money's involved now, so it's a whole new way of doing things. So I understood that. However, you did not see that same UNC fight, that same UNC, we an up and down team. We run and gun. We set the tone. That's the type of team we are. And you just didn't see that out of us. And then you come to this year, we get a top freshman, top 3, top 4 freshman, and Caleb Wilson. The dude is outstanding. He doesn't even know how to use him. Caleb Wilson literally was getting out the mud. He was getting rebound. He was cutting all that. It was not a lot of sets that gave him easy looks. He was just that good. And I think when you're a coach, your job is to help your team get easy looks because your guys are talented. They're going to get their own buckets. They can handle part of that, but to make it easier for them, give them easier buckets. And I don't think he did that for us. I don't think he upheld the standard of what UNC fans are used to. When you got a guy in Roy Williams who's coaching when we up 30, he's still in guys' faces. He's still taking it serious. We don't see that kind of stuff. This guy's in the press conference, and they asked him, hey, did you see guys being tired? No, I didn't see that. Literally, the guy said, yeah, we get tired. Right beside him said, yeah, we get tired, but, it's NCAA basketball. You should have the adrenaline is pumping so much, you just keep going. That's what you're supposed to say as a player. But as a coach, that means he's tired. All the reporters are asking him, they we look like the other team had more jump to them, had a little more hop to their skip. Everybody sees it, but the coach. And put Joe comment up here, please, on me. after watching that, it felt like he didn't take no accountability. All he kept saying was stuff like, I just enjoy these players. I enjoy being around them. I enjoy coaching them. That's not what we need here in UNC. We need a guy that demands greatness. And I don't think that's Hubert Davis, man. Nice guy, love him, cool guy, but he got to go.
Carl?
I hear what Vaughn's saying, but I say you give him one more year. Now, to counter some of Vaughn's points, he brought up Ian Jackson. I love Ian Jackson. But Ian Jackson is still having trouble finding his footing at St. John's. They even had to console him after the game and say, hey, man, we're going to need you if we're going to make a run, because he felt like he's still not where he should be. And that's under Coach Rick Pitino. Now, second point, he says that this is the team that first year he had was the team that Roy Williams made. He inherited. Well, did you know that same team the year before, when 18-11, 10-6 in ACC play, tied fifth for the ACC and lost in the round of 64? So you have to give Hubert Davis some credit for taking the team that lost in the first round of 64, to the national championship. Then 2024, he wins ACC Coach of the Year. He wins the ACC. He loses in the ACC championship to, I believe it was NC State, who that NC State team, if you remember, as an 11 seed, made the Elite Eight. They were hot. Yep.
That's what Big Burns.
DJ Burns to them. They were hot. I'm not going to say that Hubert Davis didn't do anything in his tenure at UNC to date, because that to me is false. Do I think he has some things he needs to work on? Absolutely. I agree with the point that he could have gotten Caleb Wilson better opportunities. 100% agree. And I do blame him for last year not having a big, because that is your job as a coach to recruit players that fills needs. But I do think that as humans, sometimes we live in the moment, and we're prisoners of the moment. Roy Williams' tenure, Vaughn, you like road wins. He's 24-18 on the road in the ACC. Hubert Davis, my apologies. Hubert Davis, he finished 7th his second year in the ACC. That's the worst he finished in the ACC. Even the embarrassing year in 2024-25, he lost in the round of 64 to Ole Miss, who went to the Sweet 16 and lost to MSU in the Sweet 16. We were a good team. He was 4th in the ACC, and he lost in the tournament, the ACC tournament. He lost to Duke in the semifinals. Even beating Duke, I believe, in that same year. Then this year, the only UNC team to go undefeated at home. Only. That's with Dean Smith included, Roy Williams included. Also, UNC has 3 coaches to, in their first debut, win 20-plus games. Hubert Davis is one of them. Not Roy Williams, not Dean Smith. Hubert Davis. So I say you give him a year. And I know y'all want to talk about the VCU game. I put that on both coaching and players. Now, here's why. Absolutely, you got to call a timeout. It's no way possible as a head coach you have a timeout and you get a 5-second violation that late in the game. Definitely have to call a timeout. But in the last 5 minutes of the game, you have 4 turnovers, including the Hubert Davis one. And those 4 turnovers led to 8 points. And you have 2 missed free throws, but one of them was the front end of a 1-and-1 by Seth Trimble, which you can count that as 3 because you missed the first.
Get another one.
So you don't have the opportunity for the second. Then in overtime, down 70-80, you missed 2 free throws to tie the game. I can't shoot the free throws for you. You got to hit your free throws. Don't turn the ball over. And Henry Vazar had that stupid foul on the and one on a dunk to make that a 5-point game at the time. So I do blame both coaches and players. But I mean, Terrence Hill Jr. had 20 points in the second half, detonated. Now some can say, why you ain't double him? I got Seth Trimble, who's supposed to be an elite on-ball ACC defender. I gotta believe in my guys to get the job done. But I'm gonna say give him one more year. I think he's earned enough sweat equity to give one more year out of this. Because one, again, he went to a natty. He beat Coach K in that Final Four with Paolo to get to that natty. 2, we don't want to talk about Roy Williams' last 4 years before he retired. They were not great. Again, Roy Williams would have missed the tournament if it wasn't for COVID. COVID literally saved him from missing the tournament. They went like below 500 in the ACC and I think below 500 on a year that year. And my last thing is this. Roy Williams has a quote. and this was, I think, 2012 or something like that. He was sitting, and it says they asked him like, "Why do you recruit really hard?" And he said that he basically still recruits hard because he thinks of himself as a good coach, but not as a great coach, and that he never wants to find out if he could win, if he's good enough to win with average talent. So, with that being said, give him one more year. If he doesn't do anything this year, kick him to the curb. But I think he's earned one more year at the very least. And I can't say all the good without saying the bad. His quad one record is pretty horrendous. It's 26-42. That's not a good quad one record at all, especially for UNC. But yeah, I think, and I still have more stuff I can say, but I think you should give him one more year.
We're honest, you just your mob. I'm trying to hear what you got to say.
I don't know if y'all was saying something too.
I thought they were saying something too. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, my only question would have been like, who's next? But y'all got it. Go ahead.
So this is my thing. I'm not sitting here, first of all, let me ask you this. Are you sitting here saying he's as good of a coach as Roy Williams?
I knew you was going to say that. No.
I'm asking you a question.
No.
I'm not saying that's what I'm asking you. Because you brought up a lot of stats and things. And when what I was talking about was just how he carries himself, how he runs the team. But now you brought up that he was the first coach to win 20 games, and with that same team, they lost in the first round. Don't you think a team that loses in the first round comes back the next year are just a little better? I'm just asking you a question. Just yes or no question, Carl. Just ask you a question.
No,
bro.
That's not necessarily the case. No. Like you're not giving. See, this is what you're doing. You're not giving him any credit for any of the good, but then you're putting all the bad on him, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want that to be the case. I don't want you to sit here and say he don't deserve no credit for the good, but all the bad is all on him. That's not fair, and that's not right.
I never said he don't deserve no credit for no good.
You're basically saying,
but what I'm saying is
players
just like
national championship.
But that's a fact though. When Bangkok and them left, what happened? We got invited to the NIT, and he didn't even want to go. That's even more embarrassing that you didn't even want to go to NIT. You got your first year having your own team, you got sent to the NIT. Very underwhelming season. This year, yes, we went undefeated in the regular season at home. Great feat. I give you that. However, we got walked down by a team that should not even been on the floor with us. We was up 19 on these boys at halftime. Now you want to sit here and bring up the turnovers 5 minutes late in the game. Well, if I'm tired, don't you think that'll affect my play? If I'm tired, don't you think that'll affect if I'm making free throws, things in that nature? That's why your he went with a 6-man rotation in the second half. That is terrible. You're up 19. Use your bench. You can't do that. You're up 19, bro. So those are things that I don't see a Roy Williams doing. I don't see him blowing a 19-point lead against a VCU like that. I just told you I used to see Roy Williams in people's faces. Still, when we up 30, he's still in people's faces coaching. I don't see that with this guy. He's in a press conference. He don't take no accountability. That's not the type of coach I want, bro. You can bring up all the accolades, all the things he's done in the ACC and all that stuff, all the numbers. That's cool. But for me, when I'm watching my coach, I want to know that he really is a good coach. And you brought up that point about Roy Williams. I feel like that's been humble, in my opinion. He knows that in order to win, you need good players. He knows that. Now, he can say what he say, but from what I saw, Roy Williams was an excellent coach, great coach from all the things I said. When you watch UNC, we don't even play with the same fire. Do you think we play with the same fire that we once did, Carl?
I don't think the team is constructed the same.
But I'm just saying, in what way? I mean, I
don't like, for example, y'all have had guards, for example, like Kendall Marshall, passes, Marcus
Dimer,
buckets. Y'all don't really have that elite guard. I mean, y'all had RJ Davis, but RJ Davis was so
Caleb Love too.
Caleb Love's also inconsistent and took bad shots. Like they weren't consistently great. Even Caleb Love at Arizona wasn't consistent, and he went to play with what was that Tommy? I think at the time, but yeah, he was inconsistent as well. Like y'all didn't have a Marcus Page who was consistent, a Kendall Marshall, great passer, Ty Lawson. Y'all didn't have those guys.
Now I feel you on that. However, we still had an excellent team. We got Bangkok down low. Like we couldn't even get the best out of that guy with the coach. You see what I'm saying? Like we seen guys like Sean May, like Tyler Hines, bro. These guys like under rope, like I don't see him developing guys, man. I just don't. I don't see him. I don't see one guy be like, all right, dang, this dude, yo, you know, like he's putting this system and he looking sweet. Ty Lawson, the system was get the ball out and run, and that played to his strength. What system has he put in play for our players? Like I said, Caleb Williams got to get it out the mud. Wilson got to get it out the mud. Henry Vesar, he was getting way more post-ups and stuff than Caleb. I mean, I just don't get it. You know, I don't see the vision with Hubert.
So again, I agree with your Caleb Wilson point, right? But here's my thing with UNC basketball, right? Again, the last 4 years under Roy Williams were not great. Again, he would have missed the champion. They went 14-19, 6-14 in the ACC, tied 13th in the ACC. Then, okay, the year before that, they were tied first in the ACC, went to the Sweet 16. The year after, again, they lost in the first round. My whole thing is, you want to say Roy Williams was being humble. I think he was keeping it real. Now, let's also throw into the mix, you talk about player development. We are in the NIL era where teams leave after 1 year. There is very few teams that still develop players. I mean, of course, you got your outliers. You got UConn with Caravan. You got MSU, Fears. You got Iowa, Bennett Sturts. Now, you might say Iowa, Bennett Sturts only been there a year. He's been with the same coach for 4 years. You do have outliers, but gone are the days where players are being developed. This is not the same as the college basketball as back then. Also, with UNC, I will say that they did take a long time, like you brought up in the chat, about bringing along Derek Dixon and starting him. I will hold that against Hubert Davis. But you have to account for the fact that he did lose Caleb Wilson to an unfortunate injury, not only in the Miami game, allegedly in practice, he either re-broke it or broke a different finger, something where he was out for the year. So he did lose his best player, losing to that VCU team who they should have won. But again, that's on both coaches and players. And I will say this, yes, you can use your bench because down the line you were tired. But I mean, at the end of the day, you should be in shape. You are a collegiate athlete. I'm not going to nobody but my best in the last 5 minutes of the clutch. You have to do your job.
Come on, Carl, man. If you don't play 6 guys in the half, bro.
You have a guy in Bennett Sturts who has played every minute but 7 minutes in like the last 6 games. You don't hear him saying, I'm tired. He plays the game.
I mean, he don't say he's tired because he probably don't be tired. The player's not going to say you're tired. As a player, I'm not going to say I'm tired. Just like I said, they said, yeah, we get tired, but the adrenaline is so high in the tournament, it don't matter. That's what players do. But as a coach, when I hoop, and when I was in high school, down in summer leagues, I don't want to come out. I'm not tired. But if you watching me, you can tell I'm tired, bro. Like, in my mind, though, I'm not tired, though. But if you watching, you can tell that I'm tired. If I miss a shot that I normally make, oh, yeah, come on, he got to sit down for a second. Or if I don't get back as fast as I normally do, all right, he got to sit down. That's coaching, bro. You're not up 19 and a team walk you down. I'm not blaming the players for that, bro. That's coaching. I'm sorry.
How can you not when players are turning the ball over and missing free throws as well?
In the late part of the game. In the late part of the game, though.
And again, this isn't
because you're tired.
This isn't the only team that allows teams to come back. Like we see this in college all
That's
the time.
facts. That's
we
facts.
see it all the time. So yes, that you just so happen to be one of them. But again, 1, you're without your best player. And 2, you had a guy go for 20 in the second half. He finished the game with 34. He had 14 at halftime, 20 in the second half, and then he had to step back 3 to put him up 3 late in the ball game. And you missed your 2 free throws to tie the ball game.
And Vaughn, I'm gonna let you respond to that, and then we're gonna go to the next segment. This was
That's
good.
cool. I'm just gonna say, I'm putting that more on the coach. You can say the players get some blame, but the coach get this way more blame, in my opinion. Because as a coach, you can't lose a 19-point lead, bro. It's not like your team was trash and you was up and you was the underdogs. You were just up on a team that you were supposed to lose to. You were the favorites. You were the better team. So, and you got reporters asking, yo,
I agree with this.
Like all this stuff. If the reporters asking, everybody else can see it. Come on, man. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'll grant your risk. I'll let him go for 1 more year. Because I really want to see what he's gonna do. Because if Caleb don't come back, we do got a top recruit coming in. But if he don't come back, and we gonna see what kind of team he got, Henry and all them boys ain't there. We gonna see what he do, man. Because this was a terrible loss right here. It's not about just the loss. It's gonna be about how he responds. So I'm gonna give him a chance to respond.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not sitting here saying that Hubert Davis is one of the best coaches in North Carolina.
No, he
I'm not
trash.
doing that. But all I'm saying is he deserves one more year.
But hey, look, I want to say this real quick. Hopefully, like you said, they got a top recruit coming next year. Hopefully, they can get in a recruiting bag because with all of the freshmen the last decade, you know what I mean? It's a new wave of young players coming in. If a Caleb Wilson to beat up, you know, I just looked it up earlier. It said that him and Tyler Hansbrough are the only freshman All-American UNC have ever had, ever.
Yeah.
So I know it's hard to make All-American as a freshman, but I'm just saying, like, I don't remember, like, especially in recent years, any big name players or like you know, high recruit superstars or even highly touted NBA players from UNC in the last I don't know how long. So
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I really don't
hopefully they can get back in their bag because you know when we was watching it for early on in the 2000s, I know it was a different era, but you know 2000s and 2010s, UNC had players and NBA players. So
yeah, and I'll definitely say Roy Williams is a better recruiter than Hubert Davis. Absolutely. Again, I put the fact that they didn't have a front court on Hubert Davis. That's your job.
Yeah, that's trash. And that's part of the coaching at the college level. You got to recruit too. You can't recruit, shoot. What we talking about?
And I'll tell you this, Vaughn. He ain't Kevin Willard.
I knew you were gonna bring your people in there.
Nobody worried about a Maryland.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He did all. I'm just saying.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
You ain't got to worry about that.
Couldn't be involved in the tournament.
Yes.
See, we got Jordan. See, you got Jordan on the side. You got Jordan on the side.
Yeah, and he wasn't involved in the tournament, as you can clearly see. He out there talking about he gonna fire his coaching staff. But let's move on to better people.
That was crazy.
Players.
That was wild. Yeah. I didn't even think that was real at first because I'd be flipping through games. There was commercial up next.
Nah,
I didn't think that was real.
You already know, bro. You already know. My hate watch goes all the way into the tweets, and when I seen that, I said, "This is it."
I told you they were gonna lose.
This is it. Nah, you spot on with that one. But like I said, better players, better people. Darius Acuff. Some people may be too young to understand what Bookham Dano means. And I'm gonna tell you, go on YouTube right after this episode and go figure it out for yourself. Because I don't even. I'm joking. It's from a hit TV show. But most people would say this normally happens around this time where a player comes up and he rises. You know, the cream rises to the top. Darius Acuff has been a part of conversations before the tournament. But Darius Acuff during the tournament has only been living up to that stature. Make sure y'all tap into CTC with Carl Talking College because he touches on all of the players. So that way you don't miss out on players like a Darius Acuff. You know, you don't miss out on coaches like a Kevin Willard. And I'm going to just keep taking my shots here and there. But after he finished with 36 points to get Arkansas, well, I'm going to just say the Razorbacks over High Point and take him to the Sweet 16, John Calipari had a little smirk on his face, and probably so did Jerry Jones after he spent all his free agent money on the Razorbacks. But John Calipari makes his 17th trip to the Sweet 16. And Carl, I mean, we already know we've been talking about the top 5 players. Acuff has made his way to the top 5 players. But do you think teams in the NBA should start considering him like a number 2 pick?
See, I saw this question, right? And I always said it depends on who's drafting where. Because if it goes Kings first, don't get too excited, Joe. And then like the Pacers second, Acuff's not a top 2 pick. Because if I'm the Kings, I go DeBanster. If I'm the Pacers, I go Peterson. Because you have Halliburton. You don't need an Acuff. But like, let's just say I say the Hawks get the second pick, right? Kings get the first. Obviously, Kings go DeBanster.
Let me help y'all do. You want to do it like this? I got Tankathon up. So currently, let's just say this was the lottery right now. Okay. I got Tankathon up. All right.
Hey, go ahead, yo.
First is the Pacers.
Okay.
Second is the Wizards.
You know, that's what it was.
Third, that's why I said it. But third is Brooklyn.
I ain't gonna lie. I purposely was not putting the Wizards top 2 for what he did to me on one of the last episodes about bringing up the pick.
You didn't see, bro. I did a formal apology. I tried to.
He still wants smoke.
Apologies. I don't want smoke. I'm just still hurt that my own HOA member did that to me.
Hey, but, man, I said, yeah, I got this.
I feel like if the Hawks had like the second pick, I would go after Acuff. Why not? Explosive bucket, can pass the ball, alleviate pressure from Jalen Johnson. I would go after Acuff. So to me, it all depends on where it matches up. Because me personally, y'all know this, I'm not a best available guy. Because a lot of people that take best available will be lotto next year and be lotto for the next 5 years. I say take what's best for your team. If you top 2, top 3, you getting the cream of the crop. So it depends, in my opinion, how it goes. Because even Dallas, if Dallas lucks up and get a top 2 seed, give me Acuff to go with Cooper Flag. Why not? They need a point guard. I mean, I like Ryan Nembhard a ton, but Nembhard, Acuff, give me Acuff. So I think it all just depends. But I think Acuff has definitely worked his way to be considered for a top 2 pick. Absolutely.
All right. J-Mo?
I could see. I second that notion as far as like it depends on who drafting. Like the Hawks could be a good team that could use a guard. But I don't know, man. If I'm a GM, these other players, like they're much bigger and more athletic and have way more upside at the NBA level than Acuff. So it would have to be a unique scenario where like, oh no, we really need a guard. Because if you don't really need a point guard, AJ DeBonza is 6'9". You feel me? Cam Booz is 6'9", 6'10". Cam Booz are probably the safest pick in the draft, kind of along the same lines as a Derek Queen. Whereas like their floor is not really that low. Their ceiling might not be as high as the other guys, but their floor not low. They're gonna come in and be solid, you know what I mean? And they're not gonna be trash. There's no way they're gonna be a bust. They're gonna be solid at worst. But Darren Peterson, man, the way he been looking the last stretch of the season and the allegations. So I'm not mad at Acuff over him. But even Caleb Wilson, Kingston Flemings, like these guys on the next level, you know what I mean? Because we had small guards that killed, but it had to be something out of this world that you've done to separate yourself from the other small guards. Like Stephen Curry was a small guard, killed March Madness, and he got drafted high. He's the best shooter we've ever seen. Ja Morant had a great 1 or 2 games in the tournament, threw himself in the top 3 of the draft. He jumped out the gym. Kemba Walker killed in the tournament. I'm not sure how high he got drafted, but I guarantee he wouldn't have got drafted as high as these guys. That 6'9" and 6'8" and 6'7". So, like I said, I would see a unique situation. Now, one thing I did underestimate Acuff is like his point guardness. Like he's really a point guard. Like him not turning the ball over. John Calipari said something at the post game. He was like, he only had like 7 turnovers the last, I don't know if he said a couple games or like last how many quarters. And he was like, that's because Acuff and Malik Thomas are handling the ball. I mean, I let them handle the ball all game. That's why we don't have a lot of turnovers. They're great decision makers. They believe in each other, blah, blah, blah. So he's really like, he can score, but he can run that point guard too. So that's one thing I did underestimate him. So it would have to be a unique situation. But in most situations, with the guys that are ahead of him, as far as the size of athleticism, it's very hard for him to creep up in the top 2 of like legitly. It's in a conversation right now because what he's playing. But once draft day come, I don't know, man.
Hold on, before y'all go, just real quick. Acuff is 6'3", and can I interest y'all in shooting 5.8 threes a game at 44.6% from the 3-point line, 48.6 field goal percentage, and 81% from the free throw line, while he's only averaging 2.2 turnovers with the very high usage rates that he has at Arkansas.
Right.
Okay.
It was amazing.
He definitely balling. Now, this question though is Acuff the best guard in the draft? You know, you brought up Flemings. You know, it's another guy who Flemings is about to play, Wagler over in Illinois, 6'6" guard. So, you know, I think like J-Mo said, it's gonna be tough for him to go top 2. Like you know, college, we seen guys cook in college. Like, you know, but however, I think AJ is clearly gonna go higher than him. I think, you know, even a guy like Caleb would go higher. Like if I'm the Hawks, I'm not picking Acuff. I don't need a guard like that. I got Jalen Johnson. He's pretty much my point guard that dominates the ball. I don't have who's their power forward over there? Zachary, or they got who they got before?
Kaminga now. Oh no,
Jalen Johnson is the power forward. But
he can run a three.
Zachariah run a three.
Exactly. Get him out of there.
Yeah,
He can run the three. Caleb at the 4 or the Bass at the 3. You know, I think they can go that route because I would see Acuff going like top 5, you know, top 6 to like the Nets or something like that. You know, I can see him balling in Brooklyn. They need somebody over there with Michael Porter and Nick Claxton and those boys. So I won't be mad if the team take him top 2. I think he is electrifying. He reminds me of a guy like Dame, a guy that can just drop buckets. So I want to be like super surprised, but I don't think it's going to happen. If it's me, I want to take him top 2.
That's a good call, Javon. Comparing to Dame.
Yeah,
Dame, and especially when Dame first came in the league. When Dame first came in the league, he was hooping like he was in his 3rd, 4th year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just the way he was carrying himself, his poise, and that is kind of how Acuff is. So that's a good one.
He balling.
And I like the team that you threw out there too. Like Brooklyn would be a good spot for him, right?
Yeah.
They chose Igor Denman. I never thought he was Lotto.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Even with my jokes about the Wizards don't need a guard right now. Now, if the Wizards didn't have Trae Young, then I would be like, all right, you know what? If Acuff is there, go get Acuff. But they got Trae Young.
Over Bub Carrington?
And we got Bub. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know.
I think J-Mo was trolling.
I know he was. That's why I said you never know, man. B-Mo's finest, but
Carl, you hot, man.
It's all good. But one thing I want to point out too is how lucky is John Calipari to keep getting these guards, bro?
It's not luck. It's not luck.
His gift of guards.
It's not luck.
Hey, I mean, well, you know what? He do got the resume, but some people will say you could add a little sprinkle of luck and Jerry Jones on the side too. But Acuff, John Wall, I mean, D Rose, Fox, like the list can go on and on. I think he got Tyree Evans.
Yeah.
Nah, he had Tyree Evans. He had Tyree Evans. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's why Joe. I think DeJuan Wagner, right?
I believe so. I think Jamal Murray.
I think he had DeJuan Wagner. Yeah, Jamal Murray, Shea, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk.
Malik Monk, yeah.
Maxey.
His guard play. His guard play is crazy. So you already know that. That's how we know he's gonna go in the top 5. If he, I mean, he just proved his game added to what Calipari does for guards. Like once you get into this dance, you already know that you're gonna be in the top 5. Because I remember what John Wall said. He was like, "Look, I want to make sure my starting 5 all get drafted," and all them boys got drafted. Granted, he was the first pick, but all them boys on this team got drafted as well. So that's what John Calipari gonna do. But for the team, I was thinking the Knicks. I was thinking the Nets before anything. I was like, if the Nets get the number 2 pick, this is the team he needs to go to. Now I understand Joe, he wants AJ, but that might be another team too. Like he go to the Kings and he can turn up over there. Because you know, Joe, I'm more so want AJ to come to the Wizards. But if Acuff is there and whoever gets the first pick, you already know AJ's gone off the board. So that would be a great second pick. I definitely think teams need to start considering him at the 2 pick, depending upon your actual need. And again, being a Wizards fan, seeing all the forward/guards we got, nah. I would like it, but nah.
2 things, Tomo.
Oh, go ahead.
Sacramento, if y'all draft him, please don't trade him like y'all did the last three lottery guards y'all drafted. 3, 4. I mean, they traded Fox, Hallie, Davion Mitchell. Like, come on, man. And kept the G League.
They tripping.
Traded the Aston Martin, the Maserati, and the Viper, and kept the Nissan Altima. Look, now, another thing I wanted to say is, we were just talking about Calipari, all the guards. This is a random thought. I just saw a video the other day, bro, where they said they had a new all-star format. East, West, and Kentucky.
I mean,
they named all the names from Kentucky, bro. I'm like, bro, they might win.
They will probably though.
What? Bam, Cat, D-Book, Jamal Murray, Shea,
AD.
You said
who?
AD. Well,
they got a whole bunch.
He might not be available, but
I mean, which cat you gonna get?
I mean, he gonna play.
Sure.
Where's the cat?
Just saying.
He gonna play, but I mean, I definitely think Acuff has played his way to be considered. Now, do I think he ultimately will be? Again, depends who's picking. But I definitely played his way because I know Javon brought up Wagler and Kingston Flemings. Love both those guys. Give me Acuff over both of them. I love them both though. I'm taking Acuff. 6'3", can shoot the ball just as well as them, if not better. Kingston can get to that cup. I love Kingston. Kingston game is so smooth, but I'm gonna take Acuff over both. man, the way he plays, the clutchness of Acuff, the shooting ability, the play in the point guard, not defensively. Come on, man. I mean, he's a little better, but
no, that's the thing. You know, the size can translate the defense.
His decision making, though, Carl, like you said, man, his decision making is elite.
Yes,
at the level he's playing right now, it's elite.
Definitely a dog.
And side note, Pistons go after Malik Thomas.
Okay. You had to let that breathe, man.
I did
to let my HOA moment have his moment, man. Yeah, do your thing, bro. We good now?
We good.
All right, because I noticed on the earlier part of the segment, you definitely went back to saying the Hawks should get Acuff. Like you didn't even acknowledge that the Wizards was number 2 in my tankathon. But it's all good.
I told you why. But I mean, y'all done drafted 6 guards in the last 2 drafts.
Nah, for real.
Nah, hey, forgot about so many trades on the team. I forgot about Trey Johnson at one point. But let me ask you all a question, and it might go over your head. I don't know. If you're a real movie buff, you might get it, right? Is there anyone that can tell me why alligators are aggressive?
No.
I know my man was gonna get it. I knew my man was. He got it. My man got it.
Gilmore reference.
Nah.
What you say?
I thought this was a Happy Gilmore reference.
Close. Right actor, wrong movie, man. Mama say alligators on.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
You forgot about Waterboy, man. Because they don't brush their teeth, man. And we can clearly see they forgot their toothbrush, man, messing up everybody's bracket, man. Carl, I feel for you, bro. I feel for you. I know you picked them to win it all. So they was gonna repeat. And shout out to my man Tyler. He's a Gator fan as well. I've definitely reached out to him and said, every time I root for one of your teams in a playoff-esque environment, you let me down.
He's even more of an op.
You let me down with the Broncos and Florida. Like it's insane. I picked Florida in my work bracket. Should have stuck with Duke. But Iowa beats Florida. March Madness, man. When I tell you, shout out to Alvaro who nailed the 3-pointer with 4.5 seconds left, pointed up to Pops and let him know, like, hey man, this one was for you. Carl, I know you've done episodes recapping and previews of all the games, but when you seen this happen, what was your reaction?
I was pissed. I don't even like Florida, and I was pissed because I told y'all I wanted to win the bracket challenge this year, and I lost my national championship game in the first week. So it's over for me. I'm cooked. But he ain't pointing up for that. He pointed, thank God I ain't get ejected for throwing a punch. That's what he pointed up for. Because he threw a punch and it didn't connect, so he didn't get ejected. And he went and hit the game-winning 3. So, I mean, shout out to him. Florida, I want to talk about Florida for a second. I like Todd Golden, but this is where I'm blaming coaching. Why would you call your timeout? First of all, got to put blame on Isaiah Brown for missing a free throw. Why would you use your timeout up to your last timeout to press with somebody on the ball with 9 seconds left? Why? I would let him made Ben McCollum use his timeout, and I got mine in my back pocket for whatever reason, just in case with 4.5 to 8 a 3-point shot, I could throw a half-court pass, catch it with Alex Condon, call timeout, and then run a set from the half court instead of just running up the court, and then my point guard throws the ball away trying to make a reverse layup over around like 3 people. But didn't like the fact he pressed like that because you get beat, it's a wrap. Then got to blame the player here. Can't give up a 3. Layup ties the game. You have a chance to win it. Yeah, I guess instinctually you want to stop a layup, but you gave up a wide open 3 to one of the few 3-point shooters on the court, and he drained it. I wouldn't have pressed. I would have token pressed. I would have showed the pressure. You get the ball in. We backing up. No 3s. Switch everything. No 3s. But they played press. Boogie Flan got beat. I think it was a screen that helped him get beat. Now they got the numbers because you got a guy on the ball. Your man is beat. You're trailing. You got what? 3-on-1 because they had somebody in the opposite corner, but I don't think that was a shooter. It might have been Tavion Banks. Can't remember. But Ben Sturts made the right play. Iowa, Ben McCollum, great head coach. D2 just 2 years ago. Now in his very first Sweet 16, and he won a game with Drake against Mizzou in the tournament in the round of 64. So, and I do have to apologize to the Iowa Hawkeyes. On my show, I said they will be outmatched, and they played a great game and won. So definitely shout out to them for winning. But man, Todd Golden, I don't agree with the decision down the stretch to call a timeout there. I would have token pressed. Hey, switch everything, no 3s. And they gave up a 3, and they lost. But ultimately, the South Carolina fan in me was happy because I don't like Florida at all, like at all.
Man. And one more thing too. This is the first time since '99 for the Hawkeyes being in the Sweet 16.
Yep, they all said that Iowa was going to go downhill, letting go of Fran McCaffrey, and in his first year, Ben McCullum did something that Fran McCaffrey never did.
Never did. Facts.
Yeah, take it away, Jamie.
Man, bro, that last defensive play was terrible. That was terrible. I mean, you was winning. Why are you pressing up? That don't make no sense at all. Like, you literally could have. They went for the three. Like, they could have got a layup if they wanted it. Like, they went for the three to chop your head off. But like, I don't understand why you pressing up. And then after they score that play at the end, what was you doing? For you to not get a shot up is crazy. You know how mad I would be? Now the coach can't be that bad because you messed up. You botched the defensive possession before that. So you kind of have to live with whatever result is. But watch being there, sitting front row with a Florida Gator shirt. You know how mad I would have been. I would have already been mad at the defensive possession. But that last play, man, I would have threw my popcorn on the floor. The janitor would have been mad at me. But I don't know, man. I guess they kind of deserve to lose the game. The way it went down at the end, Iowa outplayed them throughout the game. I think they outplayed them pretty much, except they kind of they was kind of tied and rebounding, or it was like a 1 or 2 rebound difference. But like,
yeah, I think Florida beat them on the glass.
They beat it. They probably okay.
I think so.
Yeah, man. Iowa kind of they outplayed them in my opinion. So the way it shook out at the end, shout out to Iowa, but I got a homie that's a Florida fan that I used to work with. I sent him a message on IG. I said after a while, Crocodile. He was mad as I don't know what.
Wow.
Take it away,
man. Yeah, man, that's definitely bad coaching at the end of that game. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I wasn't surprised. I didn't expect this Florida team to really go far. Last year, I did predict them to win because when you watched them last year, for one, Walter Clayton Jr. was just better than almost every guard on the floor when he played. You could just tell he was ready for the league. And they just didn't have that type of player for me this year. I thought they was more of a collectively good team, but they had some questionable losses in the year, like losing to Missouri on the road. And I really look at the road games to see to test how you really gonna play when you in the tournament, because no one's home. It's just it's neutral site, so it's like an away game. So they didn't really wow me this year. So to be honest, I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that it was Iowa though, because Iowa was a team that I didn't think was that good, and they're surprising me because they got a really good player in Sturts. Most teams to go far, you need at least one good player, and they have that. However, in the season, they have some bad losses. Like when I say, because they was ranked pretty high at one point, wasn't they, Carl?
To start the year, I think they were ranked to start the year, and they did drop out. But
they dropped out.
They did have some past losses for sure.
It was like trust me, my parlays know they had some bad losses for sure. So, but it was a good win for Iowa, man. I always tell people, you gotta watch the teams throughout the year, see how teams play, see how teams give up leads, how they walk leads down, how they play on the road. And Florida was just a team that just, they was a number 1 seed, but they wasn't that great to me. So shout out to Iowa, man.
And
J-Mo, good point about Walter. My bad, Tom. That's a good point about Walter Clayton, Javon. They didn't. He jawed like team on the back a lot. Endless times for them last year. Yeah, not the whole game, but like he had moments where he like took the game over 3 minutes straight, and you know what I mean.
He never made bad plays for real.
Yeah,
and with Florida as well, I think they were more guard led because they're all three of their starting three. I mean, their 3 guards went to the league. Elijah Martin went to the league. Will Richard on the Warriors, and now Walter Clayton in the league. So, and they all played defense. And by the way, they were all mid majors. So shout out to them.
Shout out to the mid majors, man. The mid majors. I'm looking forward to seeing the growth from the mid-majors, man. And I hope some of these players stay there and create a real super mid-major team and go at some of these top teams, man. That's what I really want to see.
That'll be tough, bro.
Iona had Walter Clayton and Dennis Jenkins with Rick Pitino.
See? That's what we need. We need one of these top tier coaches to go down there and do something great.
The coach would definitely, yeah.
But yeah, Rick Pitino was kind of forced there. That was coming off the Louisville thing.
Oh yeah.
Before we get right into that, I want to say, J-Mo, you sound like my man from Semi-Pro when you when he was eating the nachos. That's what you would have been like, kicking the nachos. But I'm just saying, man. Movie references all around, man.
I want to say this before we move forward. Shout out to Iowa for continuously making this year very historic, because it's been a lot of history this year in college basketball. From Iowa to Nebraska making their first ever Sweet 16, winning their first ever tournament game. TCU,
that's tough.
They could have made history winning their first tournament to win 2 back-to-back tournament games, but they did lose to Duke. Idaho played in the tournament since 1990, so Tennessee State didn't make it to 94, 95. So a lot of history was made in this year's tournament, and continuously could be made.
Didn't Howard win their first? I mean, they beat UMBC, but didn't they win their first tournament game?
that was Howard.
Yeah, that's when it been Howard. I said Howard.
Oh, I thought you said Iowa, but yeah, Howard. They won their first. Yeah, took them 3 years, 3 out of 4 tries, but they finally got it done.
That's
right. A lot of history. You're right. This is March.
Hey, and just like that, I wish this was in February. This joke probably would have hit a little bit harder. You don't know what the banner says. It says trading places. And some people would say maybe that's because Rick Pitino is now over there with St. John's. But I was more so thinking, after you don't score a bucket all game, but you scored a winning bucket, some people would say he made it blacker. But go check that album out. March Madness continues. Shout out to Dylan Bills.
Dylan Darling.
They call him Dylan Darling, but they call him Bills. Thank you, CTC call. Make sure y'all tap in. They defeat the Hawks 67-65. And one of the funniest moments, well, not even funniest moments, is when they asked Rick Pitino in post game. He was like, he came to me, he was like, he wants to shoot, he wants the ball to come to him. And he was like, but you've been shooting bad all day. He was like, why would you want that? And then, especially in this world, if you miss that shot, they're gonna kill you on Twitter. I'm like, bro, you were 0 for 4 all day. I mean 0 for 3, not 0 for 4 all day. And then you want to go out there and say you want the ball, and then this happens, and then the way you win the game on a layup. Come on now. I'm gonna start with you, Vaughn. On this one, we're gonna save the best for last. We're gonna let CTC close the show out on this one. But the question is, can St. John win it all?
Can they win it all? Yeah. I mean, of course. Look where they at. A couple more games. They're right in the championship game. Anybody's game, really. But I don't think they're gonna get it done. Everybody know from the second topic, I'm a UNC guy. But I do think that the team that Duke has, that guy and Boozer, now they have shown that they're vulnerable in that first round scare to Siena, but I do think that woke them up. I think that this team just has the better player. I mean, that dude, he's a man amongst boys when he's out there. Like, he would literally post you up all the way down low, shoot, miss, get his own rebound, just go right back up on you. Like, you ain't even right there. So, I do think that it's going to be a really good game. I like the coaching aspect. I think that St. John probably have a little edge in that category, having the more seasoned coach. But I think when it comes to the players, I think that Duke has the better player. And I do think that they are probably the better team. So I think that St. John has the ability to do it, but I think that they're going to lose to Duke. So I don't think they're going to win it all.
J-Mo?
Yeah, I mean, I would give any team that has a chance that's made it this far, coached by Rick Pitino, I mean, I would definitely give them a chance to win it all. But they got a tall task. Because Duke, I mean? I feel like Duke, after that Siena game, they're not playing games no more. Now, I feel like if they get to a close game, it's because you really getting the best of them, not because they underestimated their opponent, because they almost lost. So they like, we can't play games. We almost lost to the 16th seed. We can't play no games if we play the 5th or 4th. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, but let me tell you something, man. I know we were just talking about the draft board, you know, with Darius Acuff and being drafted. If I'm a coach, bro, I'm looking at Darren Peterson like, what were you doing on that last play? You had no help. Then they screened the dude in the corner. Like you ain't stay on your man in the corner. Your man was wide open in the corner. He could have passed it to him for the open 3. You ain't help on the drive. So you and dude on the wing had some miscommunication. Y'all both ran to the dude up top when he set the screen. I'm just like, bro, how you got your back turned to the ball handler and it's a buzzer beat about to happen? How you not facing the ball? So like that was just a crazy play. And whoever the dude is that was guarding dude that scored the bucket, give me your NIL. Give me your NIL. Ain't no way you let this man who ain't scored all game take you straight to the cup with his offhand. It's crazy. And like you said, Tom, what he was 0 for 4. He was Jaleel 0 for 4. And then we got a bucket on you for the game. Like, man, I know this is March where amazing things happen, but come on, bro. That's a way to lose. But I wouldn't bet on them beating Duke, but you know, it's March. It can happen, especially with Rick Pitino. If anything, he gonna have them boys ready.
Yeah, they got talent too.
Go ahead, Carl.
See, I got them boys being Duke. Bracket. I think Duke is the better team. And I know y'all are saying the Siena win woke them up. I think what really helped them is Patrick Nwamba being back in the lineup. He missed a couple games. Him being back helps them defensively. But here's my thing with St. John's. That game shouldn't have been close. St. John's took their foot off the gas, and that's why that game got close. They were up like 14 with like 6 and some change left. Then they started giving up offensive rebounds, letting up open shots, not executing offensively. That's why the game got close. They should have dominated Kansas.
Yeah, not to cut you off, Carl. Then the Kansas going like a 16-4 run at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was a big run. They went on a big run, sparked by mainly offensive rebounds. So I think St. John's kept their foot on the gas. It wouldn't have came down to a last-minute layup. They would have just won outright. Now, Duke, right? Really good team. But they don't really have the depth. I think the Caleb Foster injury with Caden Boozer took away a lot of their depth. Patrick Nwamba, with him being gone, took away their depth. Yeah, they got guys that they played, but they didn't, to me, they weren't super effective. I think St. John's can get them. Zuby Ejiofor, Cam Boozer is a matchup I can't wait to watch. And by the way, shout out Zuby, who started his career at Kansas, was told he wasn't good enough to play at Kansas, and then eliminated Kansas in his final year. So shout out to Zuby for that. But I think Zuby and Cam is going to be an exciting matchup to watch. I think Bryce Hopkins and Isaiah Evans, possibly, that could be the matchup, but that could be good. I like Shannon off the bench. I like Dylan Darling. They actually said his emergence is what led to Ian Jackson not being as much involved as he thought he would be, which he's taking in stride. But St. John's is a really good team. I think St. John's can beat a Duke. I think they could beat Michigan State. The team that I worry about if St. John's has to see is Michigan, because Michigan has the size advantage on St. John's. They got 3 players, 6'9" and up. St. John's don't really necessarily have the size to compete in terms of that aspect. Now, Cadeau against the St. John's defensive intensity, I would love to see how he does against that defense, because I'm not 100% sold on Elliot Cadeau, but I think St. John's would struggle against a team like Michigan. But I can see them beating an Illinois. I can see them beating a Houston. I can see them beating a Duke. I can see them beating MSU. They obviously beat UConn 2 out of 3 times in the Big East championship and regular season. So I think St. John's has the potential to win it all. Do I think they will win it all? No. But if they were to win it all, would I be surprised? Absolutely not.
So you had St. John. So after you got them beating Duke, and you got them when they play. Who did you have winning against y'all?
I got us.
Okay, so I'm saying, hold on. Your bracket was, did you get it complete where you got y'all versus UConn?
Yeah.
I know. Okay, and then you had y'all going up, and then you had St. John's beating y'all.
No.
Yeah, he had them winning against St. John's.
Oh yeah, y'all winning against.
I got us in the Final Four.
Oh, okay, that makes sense why your bracket busted.
No, it don't. No, it don't. We still alive. We still alive, and the teams I had making the national championship is dead. So it don't make sense actually.
We still alive. We still alive.
Over there, gotta wait another 4 or 5 days to try to hate.
Hey, I told you my season was done after I bought you a bowl of Chipotle, bro.
Your season was when you lost by 40.
My season was done after a certain interview, but I ain't gonna say too much.
When you lost by 40.
I ain't gonna say too much. But anyway,
Some interviews, man.
Hey, look, and certain rappers. But look, man, can St. John's win it all? I mean, it's March Madness. Of course, we can sit up here and say, of course, they have a chance to win it all, especially in the bracket they was in, coming out of the East with all those opponents that they had to go up against. That was a tough.
It's the hardest side, brother.
So now going up against Duke, and I know you all saying the Siena game. I watched that Duke ACC championship game, and I think that was one of them moments that I thought that was going to be the game to wake them up to go into the tournament, because it's like, bro, Virginia's a good team, but the way they were playing against Virginia at certain points in the game, I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, go get it. So I think that's another one of those things that just builds the fortitude going into it. And I think them watching or hearing about what happened in that game, you're not going to tell me somebody just went 0 for 4 and think he going to come over here and try that same play on us. Like, nah. And I want to shift back to what J-Mo was saying, because that was exactly what I was going to bring up. Peterson. I don't know who your agent is going to be. I don't know who your man. I don't know who it is. But they're watching. Teams are watching Acuff. And teams are also watching you and all of the stuff that happened in the last 3 months. And you are going from a top 5, well, I'm going to say top 2 pick to possibly falling. Oh, I ain't going to say out of the top. I'm going to say falling out of the top 5, because a lot of teams are going to start talking. They're going to have a lot of conversation about what's going on, because the tournament is where most teams tap in and be like, okay, I see what players was doing all year, but these are those moments. Like, is he really that killer? Is he really that dog that he says he is? And I see how y'all are looking. But again, these are what teams go into. Teams mess up every day. So back to St. John's, I don't think they beat Duke. I think Duke's definitely going to come out there and they're going to try to put their foot on their neck. I'll come back on here if I'm wrong, but I think Duke is going to take it all away. I know, Vaughn, that's not something you want to hear, especially with everybody dropping the fraud alerts. I know what's going on in the college chat, but we're going to see what happens. I think St. John their run is done.
Isaiah Evans, 5 threes, book it.
Hold on, time out real quick. We can't do that in Maryland, by the way. But real quick,
DC.
Real quick, I disagree with the Peterson slander in the tournament, to be honest with you, because the first game he had 28. He was cooking Cal Baptist. Now against St. John's, it's not like he was getting strapped. He was just missing open shots. Some shots were contested, yes, but some shots he just missed that he normally make, and he still finished with 21. So he averaged in the 2 games, he averaged 24 and a half. So I don't think the tournament will be a deciding factor more so than the allegations. I think
it adds to it though.
But I don't think the tournament was that bad.
Like,
I mean, go ahead, Tom.
We know you can get a bucket, but are you a franchise player? When you getting drafted in the top 5, we want you to be that franchise player. And there's moments that's happened outside of him getting buckets where it's like, that's not franchise player-esque.
It's the allegations.
No,
but even
that was crazy.
But you dropped 20 against Cal.
As far as like, everything, he played some good games in the tournament. I'm not saying his tournament was bad. I'm just saying I just brought up that last play.
And I was about to say, when do they really hold defense against a prospect that's really great offensively? Almost never. Or Trae Young wouldn't have went as high as he went.
So that was different, man.
Trae Young led the
Acuff
and assists, yes, but still, Peterson was still getting 20 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he
would go halftime. He'd be at halftime with 20 sometimes.
But this is the thing, though. Like you said, he's cooking Cal in the first round. Cal Baptist. That's subpar competition. You play against St. John's and you just missing open shots.
We can't do that.
No, I can. You know why? Because, like Tomo said, we want to see you in certain moments. We want to see you in those certain moments as well. I think that does matter. I ain't gonna say I don't think he's gonna drop out of top 5 or nothing. But I think that does matter though. Like when you're looking at a player, like you drop 20 against that team and you play St. John's, you say, yo, you missing regular shots. Maybe the moment getting to you a little bit.
The reason why I said we can't do that is because as much as I've been championing Acuff, we can then go and say, well, Acuff played High Point in Hawaii.
I mean, he's only playing who he's playing though.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Now, yeah, but if he played in the next he played some competition and he stink the joint up, then you can say that.
So
It's gonna be like,
he ain't stink the joint up yet.
he about to play
So now-
Arizona, so facts.
He about to play
Yeah,
Arizona,
so
so
if
now
he
he got to
plays, you
change.
can say
I
that.
don't think, even though I don't think he will,
But-
I just don't think we should be able to like, all right, well, he played Kyle Baptist and Cookman and St. John's. He just missed open shots. Is he really that? I just don't agree with that. He just missed open shots. It happens.
I mean, no one's gonna question if he's really that good. Like, is he really as good? It's just gonna be like, all right, he ain't performed against better competition in the tournament. That matters, you know. When you look at like, I'm just saying that matters, bro. It ain't gonna determine how good he is, but it does determine, like Thomas said, are you really a franchise guy?
But I seen people like really holding that against him, like it might hold him. That's why I wasn't surprised Tomo said that. But shot 5 of 15, missed some open shots. He actually did hit a big shot down the stretch, but
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah,
and I
he's a
can't speak
bucket
for
regardless.
why. Yeah, and I can't speak for why they're saying it, but I'm saying on top of the allegations, to have moments like that doesn't help you.
I just think it's mainly the
Keep
allegations.
this comment up. Keep this comment up.
Yep.
I saw something about this where he talked in the interview. I don't know if it's an interview or like some locker room talk that got out or whatever. But it was saying how Darren Peterson was saying, like, people think I'm sitting out because of this or that. Nah, I really be hurt. Like, I really be
I think that
messed
was an
up.
interview.
Yeah, it was an interview, right?
I think it was at the podium.
Why would he say that? Why would you let the NBA recruits know that you really be hurt? I would have let the allegations be whatever they're gonna be, as long as they know I'm a bucket when I get out of here, I'm a bucket. But now you got it creeping in their head that you really be hurt. And it ain't this ain't some science, it's him saying.
It didn't hurt Paulo, which later came out wasn't true. But you got to think about it. The notion on Paulo was like he was losing 5-10 pounds every game, getting IVs at halftime and stuff.
But did Paulo say that?
He ain't speak on it until he got in the league.
Until he got out the league. That's the only
what I'm
difference.
saying.
But
Darren Peterson just told him I be messed up.
Yeah,
maybe he just got bad PR training. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But I say that to say that everybody and their mother thought Paulo was literally losing weight and cramping and stuff because of like college competition. Until he spoke about it later and was like, he don't. And shout out to Vaughn who actually told me this. I never heard of this until Vaughn told me. He doesn't know where that even came from.
Yeah, facts.
So let me ask you this though, Jalen. Do you know who was giving the interview? Because I promise you, if it was Taylor Rooks, he wouldn't have said that.
Nah, I think it was like a Kansas podium. I just think it was like a post game thing.
Yeah.
He definitely would have said that.
It's Malika Andrews.
It had to be because I'm telling you, Taylor Rooks, he would have been like, nah, I can get 50 right now.
Yeah, I think it was a podium thing, if I remember correctly.
She brings the best out the players.
Yeah, facts.
7-ring Jalen.
I mean, he still.
But yeah, so I'm with it. That's a good comparison to Paulo thing. It's just different for me because this is Darren Peterson's words. Like they asked him about it, and he's like, "I be messed up, man."
Should have followed Paulo. Just didn't speak on it until after he got drafted. And everything.
Facts. Even if you were losing weight, you're like, yeah.
You hurt your draft stock.
Yeah, nah. But well, fellas, we concluded. We had some good basketball talk. Shout out to Carl for blessing us with his college. It's college takes. Shout out to RBO Vaughn for blessing us with his basketball knowledge. And shout out to MVP JMO for dropping dimes. All I'm going to say is before we get into our last words, R2L Day is coming up.
Yes, sir.
The R2L tournament is happening again.
Yes, sir.
And Vaughn, when you were talking about, not looking tired, I'm pushing 40, so I was out there looking tired. I ain't gonna lie to you. I pulled a Peterson, so that's why I ain't mad when he said it. They might got me on camera. I said, "Can I get some water?" I said, "Bro, run the play." I said, "No, I need some water."
I'm on Peterson.
Man, so I ain't really mad at him, but we just want to let y'all know, man, this thing is a family. So make sure y'all click the link, subscribe, hit the notification bells because we got shows ringing off almost every minute. At any point in time during the day, especially with CTC Call going live with the previews and the post games, with the previews and the reactions. Let me be more formal. But right after that, I'm gonna bring up this back. Let's get to these last words. So I'm gonna start with you, Carl.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all for having me on as always. CTC had a very busy week. We went live every day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So from Sunday to Sunday, we went live last week. We actually will be live again tomorrow because we got the NIT Elite 8 going on tomorrow. So I will be talking about the NIT. I will be doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays games in one episode. So Tuesday will just be covering the last teams remaining in NIT. We have Dayton, New Mexico, Nevada, St. Joseph's, who came back actually down 19 to win against Cal, funny enough. We got who's the other four? Oh, Illinois State, who came back to beat Wake Forest. Sorry, Joe. We have, I'm blanking on some. I'm sorry. Charges to my head, not my heart. It's hard to remember 8 teams in the NIT left, but we got a lot. And my favorites to win it were Dayton and New Mexico. But then,
No Auburn?
huh?
No Auburn?
Auburn is left. Thank you. Auburn is still left a sour taste in my mouth how they finished the SEC season. I think Dayton or New Mexico can. I say more so Dayton can get it. Auburn hasn't been finishing games either. Like they should have blew out Seattle and ended up being close. Now they did do a good job turning around against South Alabama. South Alabama was leading for a while, and then Auburn turned up. But I forgot Auburn still left. Thank you for that one. And then Thursday we will be talking about the Sweet 16 and Friday, and then as you know, so on and so forth. And we also got to cover the CBC next week, so going to be a lot of work the next 2 weeks. Shout out Tom Izzo, my Spartans. Put out Pat Kelsey in Louisville, and we also put out North Dakota State. So shout out making another Sweet 16 where Izzo record in the Sweet 16 is 11-5. So hopefully we go 12-5, beating UConn, which is going to be a tough matchup because Dan Hurley and UConn is a really good team. And it's going to be tough. I'll say that. Shout out to I wanted to give somebody this. Shout out Jerry McNamara. Took Siena to the national championship. I mean, not national championship, the NCAA tournament. Won the MAC championship and now has the head coaching job, which I predicted, at Syracuse. So won the national championship with Syracuse and now is Syracuse's new head coach. So congratulations to Coach Jerry McNamara. I wish he can bring some success to Syracuse because I don't like saying this normally, but I do like college basketball better when Syracuse is actually good. And they have not had elite talent at Syracuse in a very long time. So hopefully he can turn around the Syracuse program. And as I give somebody a shout out, I got to say, I feel so bad for Utah State. Utah State just continuously loses a coach every year because that coach comes in and does a great job. Newest name to that list, Jared Calhoun. He has left Utah State. He took the Cincinnati job? I forgot. I seen it earlier today. But just like Danny Sprinkle, when he did a great job at Utah State with great support, he left and took the Washington job. Jared Calhoun does great. Jared Calhoun is now gone. Let me make sure I get this right. He took the Cincinnati job. Cincinnati just fired Wes Miller, and comes Jared Calhoun. So great for the coaches to move up, but sucks for the program that has to continuously replace great coaches. So that's all I wanted really to say, man. I'll save the NBA and NFL talk for later down the road. But Malik Thomas to the Pistons.
All right, and before you go, J-Mo, I just want to say, CC Motion, yes, we do cover boxing. We got a show. I'm also a host on there as well. It's called In the Red Corner. Click the link. We got an episode coming this Sunday. So if you want to tap into boxing as well, we got that. Go ahead, J-Mo.
Yes, sir. CC, we got you, my boy. We'll CC you. Hey, look. Shout out to R2L, man. Shout out to the whole family. We doing it big. Shout out to the man, the myth in the comments, Brother Joe, you know what I'm saying? Great show today. A lot of good college basketball talk. And Carl, to piggyback on what you said about the coaches leaving to go to other schools, it's crazy, bro. They get into the interviews after the loss. How you feel about the loss? Yeah, the loss was this, the loss was that. But Georgia State, here we come. You know what I'm saying? Like, they jump right into the next school that they going to right in the interview after they just lost in the tournament.
Thoughts, Tama?
It's crazy.
I'm just letting them talk, man. I'm just letting them go.
It's crazy work. They need to clean that up, bro.
That's right.
Shout out to Jerry
the post game,
McNamara.
though.
I want to second that. Got a chip with them boys as a player. So now he get the coach's alma mater. Hopefully he can bring that 2-3 zone back because that 2-3 zone used to be crazy work.
Leave it in the past. Bring back everything but that. Leave that in the past.
Man, that 2-3 zone was.
That 2-3 zone was crazy.
It was.
Get them 6'9" wings at the top with them long, man. That 2-3 used to be tough, man. But closing words, last words. Miami Dolphins. Shout out to Javonte Davis. I said it again. You know what I mean? We in tank mode. Well, we need to be in tank mode. I don't know. We dipping our feet in the pool. We need to just dive in. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Malik Willis. And shout out to Jalen Waddle. Wish you well, my boy. Do great things in Denver, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Waddle fan for life. And my Sixers. Joel Embiid, come whenever you come back. I don't care when you come back, bro. But when you do, just be ready. Paul George is set to get back Wednesday from his suspension. And Maxey will be back, I'm sure, at the beginning of April. They said 3 weeks on March 7th. So I'm sure he'll be back, around the end of this month, next month beginning. So man, we've been doing a decent job of treading water while our stars are out. So like I said, man, as long as we can make it to the dance, ain't no telling how many numbers we can get. Shout out to the gang, man.
Shout out Kevin Willard.
Chill.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
He left before the game was over.
Bro, he left before the game started.
The rumors was out before tip off.
The players
We're not
was
trolling
man,
either. It's the truth.
Before the game started.
It was like before
what?
the game started. It was Kevin Willard's looking to accept the Villanova. He even had to turn it. He had to like lie and say they weren't true before the game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why if you go back and watch that Merlin game, the players was like, what you talking to me for? You ain't about to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't tell me nothing. You about to leave, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, for real.
Hey man, took Villanova to the round of 64. Can't say about Maryland.
So yeah, man, I want
He
to say
made his father with Merlin. See, he's starting stuff. Man, go ahead, man.
what's up, guys? I want to say thank y'all for having your boy on, though, RBO. We'll be live tomorrow talking about just the playoff race. It's heating up. It's like you win a game, you move 3 spaces, you lose a game, you move back. It's crazy. It's crunch time. A lot of teams need to be positioned in certain places to even be good in the playoffs. So it's gonna be interesting. I want to say shout out to my Magic. We now in a nail biter with the Pacers at home. Hopefully the coach don't lose the game. Carl and J-Mo give y'all some updates. I know y'all ain't got nobody playing J-Mo. Y'all are playing the defending champs. Y'all down 13 right now. Y'all were down 20 though. So hey, the young boys looking good out there. Carl, y'all up 13 at halftime to the Lakers. So that's a good bump. But shout out to the Magic, man. Hopefully we get things together. Shout out to my Steelers. I see what y'all doing. And y'all see the hat. It's spring training right now. Young Nats, we here. Hey, listen, you know what happened when we play y'all, though. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't even lie. Like, y'all got us. We beat it. Y'all got us. Hey, we had a lot of pitch injuries, though. We had a lot of pitch. Y'all should have caught us early in the season, but we had our pitches.
Hey, that's all I'm going to say. So
I can't say what I want to say. I can't say what I want to say there because HOA ties, but I was gonna say something about DC and Detroit, man. DC and Detroit. Now what I was gonna say is y'all struggle with the Wizards too. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, that changed after I put that up. That changed the last 2 games.
I mean, it was that last game was personal. It was personal. I understand. Why.
My Mike and then went to the game. I ain't go, but.
Yeah, nah. After K went out in the first one, I knew the second game was gonna get personal.
Yeah, definitely.
Ain't no HOA in baseball, brother. Blame Joe.
Ain't no
Bam fault, bro. Anybody have Wizards with a nice run. Soon Bam had that game. Now everybody they just
want to go crazy. Nah, you're right. Everybody has been trying their hand. Shout out to Bilal for holding it down in that OKC game. Only one that was out there acting like he wanted to play. Everybody else, they got the tank memo, but him.
Oh, they was fighting.
I mean, I don't even know how that even got the altercation even got there. I'm like, bro, you shouldn't even be in a game with the Wizards right now. Why you mad? Like, come on, man, put SGA back in so he can go for 40. But shout out to
He did finish with 40.
I didn't need you to say that, man.
I'll be over. I gotta keep it real.
I didn't see it. Wasn't me.
Hey, cue the emotional damage.
Like this whole episode was emotional damage. Hey Joe, we ain't doing this no more, man.
Emotional damage.
Back to Bam in the 83. The SGA definitely did get 40 that night. He fought for that 40. A couple of those foul calls wasn't fouls, but hey, that's another thing. It's another thing for another player. Shout out to our superstar members, man. Shout out to Joe, myself, Dave, Taniqua, RBO Vaughn, who you see right here. Make sure y'all hit that link and hit that subscribe button. It's free. I'm telling y'all, everything out here is going up, but the subscriptions is free. The like button is free.
You hear me?
Becoming a member, you gotta pay for that. But to subscribe is free. Shout out to Donnell, Giovanni, Chris, FFC Coach Coombs, Decorius, BWC Teddy, Big O, Dimitri, and Chavo. And again, make sure y'all hit the link on all of the shows. I know you here right now, hitting that like button, sharing it, so you can also, share it in your group chats. Some of these guys don't know what they're talking about, because that's what we all do when we see a clip. But when you come back and actually get the full context, you're going to really know that we do know what we're talking about, because we respond to comments as well. So on all social media platforms, you can definitely find Refuse to Lose Sports. You can see it in a banner right there. And I will say this, my last words is, JSN just got one of the largest contracts as a wide receiver. And here go the Dallas Cowboys again being pulled in. If anybody in the world wants to tell me that George Pickens should get more than 40 plus million a year, I'm going to tell you, make sure you go sign him. Because I'm not going to argue with you. George Pickens is a dog. Yes, if we didn't have CeeDee Lamb, I would be banging on the table right now that he should get 50. But we got a number one receiver. Will I miss George Pickens if he doesn't play on the franchise tag? I will. But I've been here before with the Cowboys and messed up with a star player before. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Yeah. But also, while we going through that, we've been telling you Eagle fans that A.J. Brown didn't want to be there for about 3 years. Y'all been telling us, shut up. And now that he possibly is about to get traded to the Patriots, all of Eagles Nation is like, A.J. can go. Where's the loyalty? That's all I got for y'all. And I ain't saying too much about the Wizards because you heard what my brother said. 40, 83. I'll be bammed. Catch y'all on the next episode of Refuse to Lose, man. We out.
See,
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.